And I have a new coach this season at Westfield, Josh Miracle. Welcome, Josh.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate you having us.
I appreciate you taking time out of this busy schedule. But nothing like having a lot of pressure put on you when you take the job in your first year, and your first two games are Center Grove, which you played last week, and come out victorious. And then right behind it is a very good Carmel team that Coach Ebert thinks is probably one of the better teams he's had for a while. So, and then you get the easy part, you go into the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. So let's talk a little bit shortly before we talk about Carmel, but let's talk a little bit about the Center Grove game.
Yeah, I think, first, even before we get started, I mean, just thankful for Jake and all the years of service here. Been so grateful to have such an awesome mentor. Been here with him now. It's going to be going on 14 years, so certainly it's a little bit different. But our staff stayed, everybody on our staff, and we were able to hire 3 excellent coaches in the building. And these guys are just remarkable. Can't just praise them enough for how they've been impacting kids in the off season. And they're really the guys that are doing all the work, getting us prepared. And then, I try to tell our team this, but, it's our players' team. And these seniors, they've really done a heck of a job. I've been so pleased with their leadership and the way they've stepped up and just embraced, the change. I think change can be difficult for everyone. And the hope is that, a lot of the standards and the culture that we've been able to build here over the last, going on 14 years here will continue. And it's still going to be about having a great experience and having each of these kids meet their full potential. So, we're going into the season with, all 48, close to 50 seniors. And I think those guys, they're really making the difference here, leading the team at a high level. So, that was really the reason I think we were able to get it done, at Center Grove. I have the utmost respect for Coach Moore. Almost a 300-game winner. And, I'm out there at the coin toss. And if I'm honest, I'm trying to just, make sure let's not screw it up too bad here in front of this legend. And, he's certainly just somebody that we've always aspired to look up to as Center Grove has been one of those programs around the state for, decades now that this is the model how you go from the youth level up in terms of competitiveness. So, yeah, it was a great game. We had a couple things, bounce our way. Obviously, I think you got to get lucky sometimes there, but our kids really rallied. Just so proud of their commitment to just not give in. We had a time where we were down 14-0, and I did kind of pull the KOR team back and said, no, we didn't have a great break here, and let's go. Let's not let it happen. And those guys responded, and they stuck with each other. Our whole theme this year has been Family 2.0. We've kind of re-upping with the last 13, 14 years here that Jake's built, and our staff and the players that have come before us. We want to make sure that we honor that, and that it continues to be this family where guys can always come back. And I say this a lot. They're not just hiring me; they're hiring our whole staff, and they're hiring was showing that, hey, we want to have this culture continue, hopefully for years to come. So yeah, with the Center Grove game. Certainly a lot of things that we talk about in the summer and situations that we execute, our staff is on top of it, well prepared, and we were able to execute a high level before the half and close out the game offensively. So just kudos to the staff and having our kids ready and prepared.
Yeah, because one situation, for maybe some people that will be watching this that don't follow football really close like we do, but you guys, Westfield was 0-2 against Center Grove going in this game. Of course, past teams don't really matter, but that, and getting down 14-0 in the first quarter, and then come storming back in that second quarter and scoring 27 points is huge.
Absolutely. I think you learn from experiences in the past, right? They've been such a great program for all those years, and I think that's also. We give a little bit of credit and sign of respect to our previous players, right? We were close, we were in position to have a chance in that last state game, and I think that paved the way in the vision to say, hey, we can do this. We can break through, and these seniors, they believed and they took it to heart. So I don't think there was panic when we're down 14-0. You'd like to not put yourself in those positions, but you also got to recognize, too, they're a great team. So sometimes they're making a play, and we're going to have to respond and make a play of our own, too. So some of it is they're just a well-coached and excellent team.
Because let's face it, in the game of football, you're adjusting all the time. series after series, play after play, you have to make adjustments and continuously, and it takes the whole coaching staff, because you guys got guys upstairs, you got guys on the sidelines, so you have people everywhere in your ear, and you're all talking and discussing what to do next. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think those guys do a great job. They really own their role. You know, when it's time to give the input, they're on top of what they need to, communicate with coordinators, and if I need to know something on the decision-making process. But they work well together, and our kids, obviously, they've bought in enough to be prepared in those situations. And at the end of the day, they make us, look good by going out and executing. So our players, they found a way there in those big moments.
I know it's difficult to talk about different players and who played good and who didn't and different things like that, but let's talk a little bit about some of those key players in this game against Center Grove.
Sure. I think if we're just honest in the game of football, everybody, regardless of who's out there, everybody steers their attention towards the quarterback, right? And I just want to say very pleased with Carson Melvin and his leadership, and just how he's grown as a player, as a person. He's got extreme poise, that we lean on. A lot of times he was extremely efficient, I think 12, 15, maybe in the game, but made some pivotal, just plays when we needed him most, both as a passer and a runner. And then you look at, Gabe's been around this program for 4 years, and he's been a staple of what we have done. And he has that big time experience where, he got to play in some games against Center Grove, back in the state runs there, but he was phenomenal. That's what you would expect out of a guy who has 4 years of experience there. He's calm and collected, and just love his leadership ability with that receiver room. And our O-line's the heartbeat of the team. These guys are phenomenal up front. Obviously it helps that they're pretty skilled and pretty big, but they work well together. They're consistently growing, pushing one another. You look at Isaac, who, our 3-year starter there at center. You just see his character show through in the game where he's rallying guys in those tough moments. It's the same character you see with the guy who's down on the first grade field and he's mentoring, one of our first graders. Like, those are the type of kids that, you are excited for and you see perform in the big moment. But yeah, overall, I just thought offensively, a lot of guys, got it down, and we had some great, blocking on the perimeter there. Parker Knott's been kind of jack of all trades, being able to kick and punt and block and score a touchdown there from Gabe. So yeah, those guys, I think they'll all kind of get their dues on different weeks. And then defensively, I think we were kind of figuring some things out. That first half, I was so proud of how they rallied before the half. Landon Porter has a great pick there, a good 2-minute situation, and then make some adjustments up front. The D line, again, just similar to the O line, kind of a heartbeat of our team. We played, I think, 11 D linemen. It was at one point, so kind of pride ourselves on that. These guys that have stuck in our program and have just carved out a role and niche for themselves have really benefited us. You look at kind of the catalyst maybe on both ways, just the energy and the enthusiasm of Mike Webster. He's been a great player. He's a winner, and he brings out the best in a lot of us. And obviously down the stretch there, we kind of relied on him to seal the game. So definitely, he's been progressing, with that role of playing both. Deacon King as well, getting some touches there offensively. Still relying on him at that safety position. But I think we're constantly growing there. We look forward to what the future is going to be a couple weeks down the road as that defense continues to just get the details right and work together.
Well, I appreciate that, Coach, talking about Ben Davis. Let's switch gears a little bit. I think this is another real important game coming up here, as every game you have all season long, because of the schedule you play. I feel like that probably you may have one of the toughest schedules in the state of Indiana this year, especially with what you play those first 2 games, and then the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, top to bottom, is a very, very good conference. So let's talk a little bit about the Carmel Greyhounds, because they're just right down the road here on 31. We were talking before we started the show here, and Of course, in a couple of weeks, the Mud Sox coming up, Fishers against Southeastern, because they're both in the same district and they are so close together, but they're not as close as Carmel and Westfield as far as distance-wise to the football field. So this could be a great rivalry, and it's something that you've got Carmel in the last couple of years in the sectional and beat them, but back in the day they'd beat you 3 times before. So it's one of those teams that Westfield has a losing record, and there's not many on that schedule that are like that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we have the utmost respect for Carmel and our staff, and they do a phenomenal job. I mean, we've seen that for years. We've had the privilege of playing 4 times since we've been here, and those first 2 certainly didn't go our way, and they were outcoached in terms of what they were doing versus us. They were letting us have it, and probably a little bit more physical at that time, and we were able to kind of pick up and grow a little bit with our program. So we were maybe on the right side of things the last 2 years, but I think you maybe learn from some of those experiences. But it's 2 teams that are going to be phenomenal going at it Friday night, and again, we just have the utmost respect for them. And I do think you're right in saying that it is probably one of these that could potentially develop into a rivalry where people look forward to in Hamilton County, and a game that you want to be at, right? I think so many times we're streaming so much that, hey, you forget, get to the game here, just experience what it's like on a Friday night with 2 teams just battling and going at it.
Absolutely. And the one thing about it, there is no doubt. Of course, I've been to many football games here, and normally that Westfield side is always packed. It doesn't matter who you play. This is a great football town. And it's had a lot of great success, and I'm sure that Carmel will bring a good crowd down the road here and be here and show up in numbers. So it should be a very, very exciting game, and I just hope I'm thankful that Hamilton County TV gets to broadcast this game, and of course we'll be here next week. I only want to take it 1 week at a time, but we'll be here for the Zionsville game the following week, and then you go on the road to Noblesville, and we'll be over there. So we have you 3 times here in 3 weeks in a row. So what about, then do you have Southeastern here too?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be here for that one. So we're excited about being back to broadcasting Westfield football again. So we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, and maybe next time we talk, we can talk a little bit about this great coaching staff you have, and all the years we've been, and hopefully next time we get together, you got another couple of victories. All right, Coach?
Absolutely. I appreciate all you do, and just the way that you showcase our county in particular, and it means the world to us. So hopefully we can give you a pretty good game here on both sides on Friday and give you something to cheer about.
I'm sure you will. Thank you very much, Coach.